Welcome back, everyone, to the Romans podcast, and it's our final episode of the 25-26 season, our end-of-season roundup. I'm sure it's been very much highly anticipated amongst a lot of our listeners, where we're just sort of going to go through all of our own sort of end of the season awards show, like what we had at the end of the Maidstone game with the best player, all that, but we're sort of getting our own sort of it from a fan perspective, and also just a general overview of the season 2. Today, Joe is still unavailable to be with us, but Ollie is here.
Hello.
And we've also got Chef Chris.
Hi, guys.
Yep, so they'll both be joining. And first of all, I'm just going to say, we'll start with you, Ollie. What's your general overview of the whole season then, on the whole?
It's been rocky, I mean, to put it mildly. We've had some great highs and some great moments of the season, but again, it has been very tragic this season, and the season again where Bath City do get relegated after spending time in the league for I don't know how long it's been, maybe 20 years or whatever we've been in this National League. And,
I think it was one away from 20. I think it was 19.
19, 20. Yeah, 19, 20 years away. But it's been a very rocky season and inevitable that Bath would getting relegated. So it's been rocky, but there still have been some highs and some great away days, some great goals, some great player performances. And again, we're going to go into this podcast and talk about these highs and lows. But yeah, I mean, rocky, putting it mildly, but I'll still have fun with it.
Chris?
Yeah, overall, obviously disappointing. If you get relegated, you're obviously going to be some disappointing season. But just to echo what Ollie said, there's been a lot. We've had a few highs. We've had some good days. It's not been all doom and gloom. The team has performed on several occasions, and I felt we started the season quite promising, and it just sort of went downhill from around Christmas time. Well, it started with Boxing Day Chippenham, in my opinion.
I agree. I think how I compare it to last season is that I think as bad as this season was and as bad as some of the performances have been, it has actually been an exciting season. Whereas like last season, we finished sort of satisfactory 15th, and I just thought last season we were very boring to watch. Like, yes, we've had some really shocking performances, but we've also had some performances which have been fantastic to watch, like beating top of the league, or I think they were second when they played them, but beating second in the league 3-1 away from home when you're already relegated. Like last season we wouldn't have had a result like that. We kind of just scrap out 0-0s. Yes, it kept us up, but it wasn't very fun to watch. So I would say it's certainly been enjoyable, but in terms of when you're looking at it from a fan perspective, going down, we had a long losing streak, which was definitely our biggest doom and gloom of the season. I think how I look at the first half of the season, I'm much more positive about that than I am the second half. I think if we continued playing how we did in the first half, yes, it wasn't amazing, but I think we would have still stayed up. I think it was just that big period. I think it was in between February to March time, and then April we kind of picked up a little bit of form again. But it was that long period between February and March which was what did it, and I think that was without a doubt our biggest negative of that season. But I mean, with that out of the way, just a brief overview of us three. We're going to get into our sort of own awards thing here. So our first one we've got on here is Best Player of the Season. Who do you guys think Best Player of the Season was?
Joe Rains.
Joe Rains.
Yeah, I mean, he did win the award for fans' best player, players' best player, and managers' best player, and rightfully so, because he was all over the pitch. Centre mid, had to go in striker at one point, had to go centre back, had to go right back. He was all over the pitch, and he was one of those few players that while he had 2 red cards, he was also largely available for the whole season. And the fact that he was that consistent player that you could select, he would he just fit into any team no matter where he was playing, whether it be up front, centre mid, right back, centre back. He'd always just be there, and he had some fantastic performances as well. What do you guys think of his season?
Yeah, same, because I've written down here, he's been asked to play absolutely everywhere. He's done it without complaint, and he's actually performed in those positions. All right, he didn't score when he was striker, but come on. That's literally the only thing he didn't do. He was a great centre defensive midfielder one game. He played centre-back a few games when Putman first came in, and he did excellent. yeah, so he just fully deserves it just for being an all-round team guy, and yeah, he's Bath City through and through. So
yeah, I mean, he's just been extremely consistent both on the defence and on the wing, and just when you see him play and everything, he's always been holding. And then obviously, every player has their moment where they're not doing it to the best of their ability, or maybe Darren might put him in a position that kind of thought, oh, why is he there? He's it's terrible. But yeah, Reigns has been one of the players that has been most consistent. Whenever you see him play, he's really going to try his best when he's in the defence and when he's in the attack. So again, he has earned the awards that. Fans' favourite player of the year. I think he's an absolute solid player. I hope we continue to keep him on. And yeah, it's just so far he's deserved it.
Yeah, no. I also put on here actually as sort of a runner-up, honourable mention for player of the season. I also put Matt Bowman and Scott Wilson. But the only reason why I didn't think they could be player of the season is because they weren't here the whole way through. Matt Bowman, when he came in, was a key player for us and a vital player for when he did play. And same with Scott Wilson, when we recalled him from loan, we started scoring some goals, and that was key for us. It's just a shame he wasn't recalled a bit sooner and scoring those goals a little sooner. But, I put them as maybe my second place and third place for player of the seasons, I think. Got Bowman and Scott Wilson as honourable mentions. Next, we've got best performance of the season. So... you two, what do you think our best performance of the season was? I'm going
to put an extremely recent one. And when I mean extremely recent one, I literally mean our latest game. I was just absolutely blown away.
Our latest game, we lost.
Yeah. Well, I know we lost.
Oh, okay.
But player performance.
They did play well first half.
You thought that was our performance of the season?
Are we talking like performance as a team as a whole, or like performance individually?
No. So the best team performance, right?
The best team performance, right? Okay. Well, I'm going to say Worthing at home.
Yeah. So I've also I've got 4, and I can't. It's hard for me to split. I got Worthing at home, obviously the 3-2 back in January. I've got Tottenham at home. I think it was back in November.
Yeah, that student night, wasn't it?
Where it was buzzing, and we won 2-0.
That was
and then I got both games away at Meadowbank against Dorking. The FA Trophy where we won on pens. And of course, like 2 Saturdays ago, where and I'm going to say it because we haven't got much to chat about this season, we battered Dorking on their own ground 3-1.
Yeah.
So out of those 4, I'd probably go, the one that gave me most satisfaction, I'm not going to lie, was Dorking away in the league.
Yeah.
Just because we were already relegated, we'd had nothing to shout about for so long. And then we just go away there and we just slot 3 past them. And I was just...
Yeah, I've gone and got the Dorking game as well. 3-1 win. And yeah, I just think top of the league, they had everything to play for. We had absolutely nothing to play for, and we just it's not like the players are like, oh, that is pointless. We're just playing a pre-season. They still were in it to win. They didn't really care about it being a meaningless win. They were all in it for we've still got a game. Let's go out on a high, and that's exactly what they did. So I think Dorking. Bath City, but I can also see the Worthing game as well.
Yeah, the Worthing that was very hyped. That was the first away day of the season, and when we went there, obviously. But
I thought you meant the home game where we won.
Where we won 3-2.
But hang on. But the Worthing away at the start of the season, that was a game where Bath were really not playing their well, and then we just scraped a 1-1 when I lost my vocal cords from screaming. And then I saw okay, we're playing them again near the end of the season. And I thought, all right, at home. This is going to be a big time. And this was the hyped up game for me. This is the one I was looking forward to. And it was it was a battle. It wasn't just like, oh, we scraped a win or like we battered them. It was a battle each way. And then Bath emerged victorious. We brought Will Jenkins back really early from his injury, and then he slots in the winner. And it was absolute scenes worth it. So again, Dorking at home is another contender, but also Worthing at home. I think it's kind of not 50-50, but Worthing at home was an amazing performance as well.
Yeah.
And then the Dorking,
I think Worthing's probably a close second for me. I've also got maybe Tottenham and Salisbury as well at home. I think that we were great. Good, very comfortable 2-0 wins in that. Number 3, the third question, we've got best goal of the season.
Free kicks count?
Yeah, of course.
Free kicks count. I'm going to go Alves's Southend one. I'm going to go Alves's Southend free kick. And I remember exactly what it was. We were standing in the stands and we were just kind of thinking, I heard, he's not going to make this. It's just, I don't know what's going to hit. And then 5 seconds later, and just absolute he
scored like three kicks in a row, didn't he? It was like the Dorking one and the Chippenham one and the Southend one were very close together, I seem to remember. And I do think when I saw that free kick, it's off the post, like right where the post and crossbar meet, it's off that bit and it's into the back of the net, and you can't really get a better place top corner than that. The question is like, would that go in the highest level? And I think probably if that's the same wall you have in the highest level, it goes in. I think the only thing that maybe plays that goal down a bit was the amount of players that Southend put in the wall. which might have helped them to perhaps stop it. So I've gone and put Jordan Tilson against Hampton and Richmond for that reason, just because, last game of the season, last minute of the match, sorry, not last game of the season, it comes out from the free kick, header back from Batten, and he just comes onto it first time on a half volley, and it flies into the top right corner. I think just for the importance of the goal to winning the game, I think Jordan Tilson, Hampton and Richmond tops it for me.
Yeah, that's some goal. I've gone the same as Ollie though. I've gone Alves Southend. I thought, because it's near enough 40 yards, and yeah, you can criticise the wall, but they put such a rubbish wall there because they think he can't score from 40 yards, and he's put it in the postage stamp, and I don't think any keeper in the world gets to it. I think it's that good because it's hit the net at like 80 mile an hour, and it's like it's unreal. So yeah, for me it's Alves against.
Well, it's a sort of goal that if it was scored at maybe 2-3 leagues higher, it would be in contention for Puskas probably.
Yeah, exactly. It's that good, and let's not play it down. Well done, Jordan. Some free kick, mate. Yeah.
I think for me, I think Jordan Alves was certainly the better goal in terms of where it was placed, but I think in terms of the importance of the goal and also just the bravery to take a shot on when that much is on the line.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've gone and put Tilson just because I had that last minute winner feel to it.
I'm so upset that I missed that away day because we haven't got Hampton didn't even release a highlight of that game, so all I've got is some mobile phone footage to see it, and it looks absolute worldy, but it's such a bad footage that I just wish we could see it in clarity.
You always get a bit more sort of positivity put towards the goal when it's open play as well, and I guess because he came up to it a second time and the ball was moving and everything, it made it a little bit more challenging. But I do agree that I think Jordan Alves was probably the better goal. But as I said, for the reasons mentioned, I've put Tilson. Next we got best save of the season. Ollie,
best save of the season. What if I went with the penalty shootouts for Binns, when Binns saved it in the FA Cup game and he just saved every single one.
FA Trophy.
Trophy, not the FA Cup. FA Trophy, yeah.
Yeah, he saved 4 out of 5, did he? I think.
I think
or
not.
3 or
I don't
think a single one went in, did it?
No, I think he saved 3 and he got near.
Yeah, that's
one.
right. I know. No,
actually, he saved 2, but one of the saves was a retake. So
that's it.
He technically saved 3. Yeah,
that was suspenseful.
As against Dorking.
Yeah, I would say that was my one.
Yeah.
Well, I've gone for one that's a bit obscure. It was away to Dorking a couple of weeks ago, and I was just waiting for the net to move, and suddenly he just clawed it out from on the line. It was down low to his left. It's really hard for me to describe because I was on the other end of the pitch, but I just remember the ball going towards the net, and I'm thinking, oh, well, that's 2-1 Dorking now, and they probably go on. And he just somehow gets down to it. And for the older people listening, like, you'll remember Gordon Banks from Pele. I likened it to that, and a lot of the older fans agreed with me because they're like, how did he get down to that? Yeah. So I'm going for that. It's just worldy save down to his left against Dorking away, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I've put that one, and I've also put, again, this is difficult because none of you have seen this because it was a double save he made against Hampton and Richmond, the same game they didn't post highlights for.
Oh, okay.
And it was towards the last minute of the match, right after Tilson scored. Hampton went up the other end. There was one save that he made. I think he tipped it onto the bar or something, and then it came back, and then he made another save. Or it might have been he made a save, went out for a corner, and he made another save to his left. And it was, just those two fantastic saves important to winning the game. Like, Hampton score both of them, it's 3-2, So I think, like, in terms of the importance of that, but yeah, I've also gone with that Dorking one, the one where it's sort of like corner comes in, he reaches out with his left hand and he somehow saves it. I think that was also a fantastic choice to go with. So everyone's gone Charlie Binns, really.
We've all gone for a Charlie save. Sorry, Harv, but
sorry,
you had made some amazing saves this season, Harvey. But
sorry, Binns got
those are the ones that stick in my head, mate.
Yeah. All right. Question 5. We've got a signing of the season, and this is including loan players too. So what do you guys think?
I'm going to put Putman. I'm putting Putman. He's just astounded me, even as a lone player.
He's a great shout.
So solid.
He's been amazing.
On the defence, on winning the ball back, on getting up on the way, and just seeing him play as well. It's just, honestly, I look at it and I just go, this kid,
he's a level above. He's a level above. And it's clear.
So lucky that we've got, even though he's a loanee, and they tell you never fall in love with a lone player. It's just Putman. It's just honestly
But by the end of it, he didn't feel like a lone player. He was here for half a season.
No,
so,
exactly.
Yeah,
and we played him so many times, and clearly, I think not only Darren liked him, but Scott liked him as well, and liked playing him both in the defence and just running up the pitch. I think
the truth is, he's just better than National League South. He's brilliant.
He's just and he's definitely going to be brilliant. I mean, obviously, we're not having him for the season, but for the Southern Premier, he'll be like leagues and leagues above. But there have been some great players that we brought in, but for me, and they've all been, most of them have been brilliant. But I just say Putman, he's just blown out of the water.
That's a fair shout. So I've gone for, and my son would never forgive me if I didn't nominate his absolute hero, and that's Matt Bowman. So yeah, I think in the midfield we were a bit light until Matt came in. I think we had some good players in midfield, but we never had that big guy that could power through and hold players up and just be that unit in midfield. And then we signed Matt, and he just impressed me from day one. So I'm going to go Matt Bowman. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout. As you said, he really tightened up that midfield a bit more. I've gone with another midfield option, Josh Lacratabia. And the reason I've gone with him is that even though he was obviously not here for as long as, say, Putman or Bowman to make an impact, the brief impact that he did make, I think, was vital to us winning games. Because I'm going to say, like, Jordan Tilson in defensive midfield, I thought he was fantastic there last season, but he certainly lost a bit of pace this season. I think, as well with Russ, I think he's sort of, not the player he used to be in my eyes. And so I think the position that we were really lacking throughout the whole season was a defensive midfielder. And Matt Bowman can, he can bring the ball forward, and he would probably definitely be my best permanent signing of the season. Yeah. Josh Lacratabia does the sort of box-to-box role. It's becoming basically one of the most important positions in football in the modern game, the defensive midfielder box-to-box role. Like, you got at the highest level, you got your Declan Rices, your Rodri's, or the Rodri's kind of fallen off a little bit. But, it's a very important position. And I think that as soon as Josh came into the side, we started to actually get results. We were on that big loss streak and draw streak. And yes, it was he sort of came in at the similar time when Bartlett got appointed too. But I think his debut he made, I think it was Hornchurch at home. And we went 2-0 down, and we managed to pull it back to 2-2. And I think him being moved into the defensive midfielder in that second half, he was that element of hope to our season. And I think without him, there's a high chance that even with Bartlett, we probably would have just gone and lost all our remaining games and finished bottom that season. So I think Josh Lacratabia, even though he wasn't here as long as the others two, is my signing of the season in terms of bringing him in. And I think he's certainly almost first team level for Charlton as well at this point, probably bench level.
Yeah, he's a level above, isn't he? And you can see it when he's on the pitch. He's going to be a class act. He's going to have a great future. And I totally concur. We moved him. He came to us and we all thought he was a centre back, and then he was played straight into centre midfield or central defensive midfield, and he owned that position. So absolute great show.
Yeah, and he does as much forward as he does going back as well. He's got an assist for that Bowman goal against
he did,
Dorkin, and then he also got a goal against.
He scored against Eastbourne.
So. That's it for me. Number 6, we've got best home atmosphere of the season.
I would say for me, again, another recent performance, the Chippenham at home, the 1-0 again, fans have been on a bit of a low, and then playing our rivals as well, and then a nice 1-0 win, a Scott Lawson goal, and then, Alva's going into the crowd and like standing up, everyone just screaming. That was a bit good home atmosphere. Again, another one would be Torquay, but Torquay did bring a lot of a lot of energy and a lot of aggression and a lot of passion in the away end. So the Bath lot tried to rival that, and again, that was a good result. So it's either Torquay or. Yeah, I'm just gonna say Chippenham at home, just the way I'll be celebrated.
I think Chippenham at home as well.
Yeah, Chippenham at home, last minute limbs as well, scored a 1-0 win. Everyone was just screaming. I think I saw Matt just black out on the stairs. He was just like, "Oh, this is brilliant."
I also thought Chippenham home, but then I thought back to November and Tottenham, the student night, and we won 2-0, and they were third in the league. Yeah. And we still had a lot of hope, and I thought we could move up the league. And I just thought that night was buzzing. So I've gone for Tottenham.
To be fair, I can kind of see Tottenham, because obviously we had about 1,000 less in the ground for the Tottenham game, and the atmosphere was still, electric and loud and whatever. And I think Chippenham, the atmosphere is always going to be loud in a derby, so that's obviously always your basic pick that you go to every season. But in terms of, discounting derby games, say like your local games like Torquay and Chippenham, Tottenham's certainly a good shout as well, I think, for the best of the season.
But but when we interviewed Callum talking about the goal from Reigns into Ash heading it in the, I just love that moment where they're all just together and all the players are like, "Whoa, we did it!" And Elvis is all, "Let's go!"
Yeah, Elvis climbing in the crowd was hilarious.
Elvis is all, "He's done it again!" Yeah, that was very but again passionate, and that was again for the atmosphere. It was a good fun night. So they're all good ones. But
nice one. Next, we've got best away ground / accommodation of the season.
What do you mean accommodation? The way how they treated us, or
well, it's kind of like what I'm saying is, what's your best away ground of the season, but not just the best ground, like how good they were, like facilities wise too.
I'm gonna let you go on this one.
Okay, I've got that was easy for me. It came straight into my head. I enjoyed Hemel Hempstead immensely.
Yeah.
Their clubhouse is stunning. Like there's the thing it's decorated really nicely. There's football shirts all over the walls. There's a league table up, like an old-fashioned league table where you physically move the teams yourself, and magnets. And the bar staff were absolutely lovely, accommodating. The fans in that clubhouse were great banter, great chat, no animosity. And the facilities I thought were excellent. Plenty of toilets, easy to get a beer. Food was excellent. So yeah, for me, Hemel wins it hands down for my away trips this season. Yeah.
I was thinking I'm gonna go with I'm just gonna go with Worthing again, because I remember when we rocked up, the ground was just in the middle of nowhere, like in a housing estate, and then you just walk in, and then it's just a nice open bar. Immediately, the chairman comes up to all the fans that come in and starts greeting them. You got the mascot greeting people again, open facilities.
Nice.
Club aside, really nice ground and everything. And then I will never forget this. I remember when we showed up, it was me, Oscar, and everyone, and we were all just there in our Bath shirts, and then the guy just went, "Hello, you guys coming from Bath? Yeah, you had a nice time, yeah. Well, listen, we know how much you guys love your cider, so we've got a nice little cider section over there. Get your Thatchers in."
A cider section.
I mean, we got a cider section. You call it a cider section. We got a cider section over there. Help yourselves. Use Somerset, lads. You know, they were very accommodating, and it was a very nice ground as well. It was a good time, performance aside and everything. But it was a good time, and Worthing, you know, I still just love that immediately. You Somerset a lot. It was great. That's for me. It's a Worthing. It's Worthing again.
To me, I've gone with Farnborough, and I think the reason for this is everything about their facilities is fantastic. Like, I really like their clubhouse. I like their ground. I think their ground is fantastic. You know, there's a decent like stand / terrace all around it. And it's like, you know, it's one of the most sort of consistent grounds, and you're actually allowed to walk around it, unlike Torquay. So and also they've actually got tap water for away fans, unlike Torquay. So
need it.
You know,
not to bag other clubs out, but Torquay it's a big day, but it's not a good away day for us. Like, you get shoved in the corner.
With no tap water. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, Farnborough, also their clubhouse as well. They had, and I think it's Enfield had this as well. But the only thing that didn't make me put Enfield as my best one is because of the lack of toilets there.
Yeah, they have like 2 toilets for like, there was about 50 of us queuing. We're like, come on, we're all gonna wet ourselves.
Yeah, because that was it. Because Enfield and Farnborough, they both have a clubhouse, and they both have clubhouses that sell like programs of all different sorts of teams, like several teams in England. Like, the Enfield one was far more impressive, but Farnborough had it as well. And I just thought, you know, not many clubhouses would think about putting these in for all the away fans that are visiting. So I think any clubhouse that has things in it that welcomes the away supporters as much as the home supporters, for me, is what wins the best accommodation. And I think Farnborough does that fantastically. You know?
Yeah, Farnborough was up there in my consideration.
For me, even though it's not a question, for me, the funniest away day is Betty. An away day was bloody odd down 10 minutes down the road. And when you rock up, it feels more like a pub and everything. And you go there, there's like, you know, there's the car park, and then you rock up and you're like, "Where's the football ground?" And then some guy goes, "Yeah, it's down there, mate." And you just have to go down to another field through this little alleyway.
Even Jordan Alves had to ask me where the ground was.
Where's the ground? And then you show up, and it's just like a back garden. The walkways, it's like you feel like you could just your boots are just stuck in the mud. You can barely walk around. It's like a square pitch, and then there's someone on like a little mini table with some like Kansas Thatchers went, "Yeah, hi, you're right. This is the little mini bar." It's just the funniest, and I'm like, "Oh, this is classic. I love it." Maybe they didn't have any bogs. You had to like walk like 15 minutes if you wanted to go to the toilet, but at the same time, it was very funny. Very funny. But yeah, that was my funniest memory.
All right, number 8, we've got best new chant of the season.
Well, I can only think of
Yeah.
2 new chants, and that was Charlie Binns and Alves' new one. You know, when Alves, no. And I'm not a big fan of that one. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna have to go with Charlie Binns. That I think maybe did you make that up, Oscar?
No, I think that chant was made by one of Ben Hatton's mates, and then I think Kieran kind of picked up on it and sort of tweaked it up a little bit, so it actually flowed a bit more nicely. And I think the first time we really used it was Maidstone away. In the game that he actually got sent off at.
Right.
And then obviously his suspension didn't, I think it got overturned.
It did.
Yeah, he was then in the side for Dorking the following Saturday. And then obviously that's where the chant really caught on, you know.
Yeah, I remember the Dorking away one, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's definitely our best sort of player chant of the season. But, you know, in terms of some honourable mentions for some of the more like humorous chants, at Hampton and Richmond, we had that everywhere chant for Darren Way when he was still here. Like, I want to be with you, Darren Way.
Oh, okay.
Like that, I found that one very fascinating. And then also Enfield.
The 6 cupcakes.
Yeah,
that's got to get a mention. That was hilarious.
We got called out for not mentioning that in the podcast once, so now we have.
We did, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
So the 6 cupcakes chant is certainly an honourable mention for the best chant of the season. Number 9, we've got the worst referee call of the season.
That's quite easy for me again. It's the Binns red card at Maidstone.
Yeah.
Like, because it got rescinded, so it was such a bad call. I also considered the referee at Horsham because he gave a penalty when nobody touched anybody, but which is probably the worst refereeing decision I've ever seen in my life. But because it just, I think we lost that game at Maidstone just because we went down to 10, and then you have to play the rest of the game with 10.
Yeah.
And it's your keeper, so you have to bring... Everything changes then. You have to bring an outfield player off, bring a keeper on. And it was a terrible decision.
System,
and it got rescinded because it was such a poor decision. So, yeah, and that one, it still annoys me. So, yeah, Binns' red card away at Maidstone is...
Yeah. I mean, I've gone with, like, you know, sympathising with refs a bit, just because with the Binns Maidstone one, in real time, like, you can maybe see why it was a penalty. Like, we, as Bath fans... watching it, we didn't really know. We couldn't tell for certain like what Binns had done, and obviously the ref had a clearer angle of it. So you know you can maybe say that, but to be fair, the fact that the player has toppled over him and there's a big scramble, I can sort of understand why the referee would have made that decision, even though it was blatantly wrong. And it was the same with the Dorking red card for Harvey Wiles Richards as well, where, you know, Rutherford, I think it was, passes him and goes down to ground. I've gone with the Horsham decision just because I think anyone can see in real time that's a ridiculous decision. We were watching it on a small screen, like on the zone, where the camera's far away from the actual pitch, and even we could say that Batten won the ball. And not only that, but after the penalty was conceded and saved, immediately after, and I still don't know what the reason for this was, Joe Rains gets shown a red card by the referee, a straight red, and I don't know whether that was for dissent for the decision or some people said it was over celebration for the penalty. How can you give a red card for over celebration? It's ridiculous. I genuinely think watching that Horsham game was the one time this season where I actually thought the referee was corrupt. I know I say it a lot, that, the ref's probably been bought off. But that was the one time where I was like, something actually dodgy is going on here, because this awful referee decision for a penalty was given, and then a red card out of nowhere. Like, I did not know what that was all about.
I wish I'd remembered to ask Joe when we seen him, like, what did he say? I've forgotten. I didn't ask him. I'm dying to know if he said anything or what. Like, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Like, if he's got a straight red card for that, he must have said something really bad, or the referee is like just a bit of a nutcase, really. You know.
Yeah. It's a strange decision. So.
Yeah. I think the referee knew he was in the wrong, and maybe his ego got to him after that. After that penalty was saved, and you know, but yeah, I'm guessing, Ollie, you've gone with roughly the same.
I've gone with I mean, I've seen some dodgy decisions as well. You know, with the Farnborough away as well, where we just felt like we really did earn that win, and then only just to concede just a penalty, which I didn't even think was a downright penalty, just for it to be a tie. And then for me, you know, again, I'm going with the Dorking at home, one with just with the red cards with Harvey. That's just. Yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But the thing is, I mean, I've found myself a lot recently, and it shames me to admit this, but when everyone else in the ground goes, "Oh, ref, I was," like goes off on the ref, half the time I found myself just going, "Oh no, I think that was completely justified." No, I think he was diving there, honestly. And then everyone was all like, "Ref, you're blind!" It's like, "Oh, ref, you don't know what you're doing. What? He's just punched a ref." I'm like, No, he fell on the floor, man. I hate to admit it, but I have found myself doing that recently. But yeah, so again, dodgy one. I'm roughly the same Dorkin.
All right. Next, we've got the funniest fan moment of the season.
Funniest fan moment of the season. Again, is this for home or is this away as well?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
What about Maidstone when a Bath fan told them, "Oh yeah, you made the playoffs," and then they just started screaming and then taking their shirts off?
That was pretty good. That's a great shout, actually.
And on the
That's a
commentary,
great
they're
shout.
like, "I don't know who's told them, but they have not made the playoffs." And then we can see, I remember seeing it, and we were like, "Oh, well, we've lost by the end of the season." And then they're just taking the shots, and going, "Yeah!" And we're just watching them like, "You've just seen the goal. You haven't made the playoffs yet."
I'm so confused, about that one because I don't know whether it was actually a Bath fan that told them or if they got a fake live score notification or what that was all about. Really,
yeah, but we were just watching.
The rumor is that a couple of Bath fans said to them that Hornchurch has scored. Oh no, Maidenhead are losing or something like that, and you're in the playoffs. And they went mental, didn't they? And
yeah,
it was hilarious.
And I think even the players were kind of looking at them.
I saw a couple of our players look back at them and go, "What are they celebrating?"
I know we're winning. It's the end of the season, mate. All right.
Yeah.
But, oh god, that was. I think for me that. We've had our creative ones, we've had our fun ones, but
That's a fair.
I've gone with also when you lost your pint at Dorkin and everybody started chanting, "He's lost his pint."
Yeah, it was quite nice to be centre of attention. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Daniel Bird started that, and I lost my pint, and then he started singing, "He's lost his pint," and then you all joined in. I had 50 of you shouting at me, "He's lost his pint." That was quite funny, actually.
Also, another time as well. In terms of the funniest thing that happened to me was right at the first game of the season where we were celebrating the Worthing goal and I toppled over the fence.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. You would have got banned from York City for that.
Yeah. Goodness.
I've gone with I've got two. One was Harvey, not our goalkeeper, Harvey Brook, swirling his shirt around his head when we scored a 90th minute away.
Hampton.
Yeah. And I've gone also Kieran Clapperton at Dorkin in the FA Trophy trying to climb the segregation fence, which we're not condoning bad fan behaviour, but he was in good spirits and he was just banter.
Because it's Kieran.
If anybody knows Kieran, he's
if it was
good
any
as
other
gold,
fan, if it was any other fan, we'd say no, we don't condone this whatsoever.
Yeah.
But because it's Kieran, we just know it's Kieran.
It's Kieran. He's fine. He's not trying to hurt anyone. And that was hilarious for me. Yeah.
All right. Next, we've got the best memory. So your best individual memories of the season. We'll start with you, Ollie.
Again, I'm going to do not again. I'm going to go Salisbury at home. So we actually got bullied out of our home standing area, and then the Salisbury year sevens were stood underneath a little by the toilet by the Stripes bar, and then they were given at large with the whole your supporters and all that sort of stuff. And then they we absolutely battered Salisbury, and I just remember they were like, and then we immediately score. They shut up, and then I'm holding a Bath shirt for some reason, and me and Oscar just hold it up and just wave it in their face and everything.
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, we just hold it up and went, look at that, mate. Look at that. Yeah, we were just doing that.
We
and
just
then
started dancing with
that.
The
was pretty good, actually.
That's another one for funniest fan moment.
That does qualify.
It's kind of on the same thing, but for me, it was a funny fan moment, and it was kind of my memory of this season. And it was I don't know how many Salisbury do you call them ultras, year sevens out of school?
I don't know what you call them,
I don't know what
hooligans.
Those bloody hooligans ruining this beautiful sport. No, but they were there, and I just remember they were giving it large and all that, and then they were doing the whole the two fingers and all that sort of stuff, just like, oh yeah, you what? And then one of them took his shirt off with his little man boobs. He's like, go on then. And it's just a load of blokes in their 40s and 50s, and we're like, mate, what? I'm sorry, but what are you doing with your life? Honestly. And then they were like, you know what? We're not having this. And then they just ripped the sticker off the wall.
I'm kind of glad that they're not coming down with us next season.
So am I. I'm not going to miss Salisbury.
They got banned, so why put the effort?
Well done, Salisbury, for staying up. But I'm so glad we're not playing you next season.
Yeah, honestly,
because your fan base is just ridiculous.
It's horrible. It's like I take my 8-year-old son, as you know, and I don't want him going to watch Salisbury. So yeah.
Yeah. This is pretty ridiculous. My best memory of the season. For me, I've put the limbs in the last minute at Hampton and Richmond. You know, it was in the rain, but we kind of completely forgot that it was, you know, pouring down with rain and just went out into the open terrace area and just started celebrating with the players.
And
it's
Harvey Brook taking his shirt off.
It's like glorious limbs, you know, and everyone was singing at the end, you know, like, and we had that funny Darren Way every way chant, and it was like, it was the probably the peak moment of the season. I thought it would be our turning point. Unfortunately, it wasn't, but you know, but it was a fantastic day out, you know, and like last minute, 90th minute half volley from the edge of the box. You can't beat that, can you?
No, you can't. It's,
really
you can't. It's a great way to win a game, and it's a great shout for what was it? Memory of the year, is it?
Memory of the season,
Memory of the season.
Yeah.
I think it was after that you were like not missing away games after that.
I missed Hampton and Richmond away, and then the only other away games I think I missed is when I was in Italy on holiday, and you know I'm not flying back for an away game, guys. But I was adamant I'm going to miss at least 90% of away days after that.
What's your memory of the season?
Oh, well, mine's quite simple. Last Saturday, my 8-year-old son won Young Fan of the Year. So thank you to all who voted. I know a lot of you did, especially the guys that I know well at the ground, like Joe Quick and his dad, and Daniel Bird, I know. And so thank you all guys for voting for that. It's a lifelong memory for him, walking out on the pitch, getting the trophy, you know, being part of that. Proud dad moment. And I'm just, that for me will stay with me forever. So just to see his face when they called his name out, because he had no clue he was getting it.
No.
I knew he had a shout because I had about 20 fans come up to me and say, "Oh, we voted for your boy for Young Fan of the Year," and so I knew he was in with a shout. But I was as surprised as he was.
To get it and walk out on the pitch as well.
Yeah, to get it, and
everything.
He was like, "Do I get to go on the pitch now and get a trophy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, mate."
Yeah, you did. Cheeky knee slide as well.
And then I just want to shout out the fans who we're good mates with. Adam Brook and his son Ollie and Harvey and Joe and everybody for singing his name as we walked out and everything. So thanks for that, guys. You made a lasting memory. So big thanks.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, next we've got quite a soul destroying question, and it's the moment that we want to forget.
I got loads. Sorry, I don't want to be Mr. Negative, but there's so many negative points this season. I've actually, I'd probably go Chipping and Boxing Day because I hate losing to them.
Yeah,
I absolutely hate losing to them, and we took the lead as well. So I'm just going to go for that because we lost to Chippenham and we shouldn't have. So
I've gone Chelmsford away because I was there.
Oh, 7-1. How could I forget that?
Yeah.
No, but I didn't go again. I didn't go to that.
I remember the notifications. I thought I was going insane. I was like, 1, 2, wait, and what? 3, 4, what? It just didn't stop.
Chelmsford away was not a nice time. And it wasn't even just the fact that we were on an away day and we were 7-1 down. It's also because of the fact that it was the longest coach journey I'd went on that season. And when we got there, the Chelmsford were like, okay, you're separated into this little corner, which is the worst corner of the ground, and every other fan takes up the rest of the ground because our fans can't behave. So basically, they were saying that we're punishing our fans by giving them the whole ground and giving the away fans a small bit of ground.
Yeah, that sucks.
Which is ridiculous. Yeah. And the Chelmsford commentators, whoever they are, calling you out on this one because you guys were the ones who were trying to defend this, saying, "Oh well, it is every club. Actually, every club has this issue." And you're like, "No, that's not true, mate.
No, it does not.
It's ridiculous." He was saying, "Oh, so you guys are separated because it's the away fans that are doing it too," and it's like, what are you on about? You know, like the most defensive I've ever seen. Like the Chelmsford City FC club commentators. Take a look at yourselves on that one is what I'm going to say.
Fair enough, yeah. I'd erased the 7-1 from my memory because I wish it never happened. So, yeah, that's why I probably didn't consider that.
Yeah. And we've finally got the biggest what-if moment of the season.
If we stayed up.
Well, that's an obvious one. But what is the what-if that will make us stay up?
The what-if it made us stay up? I mean... Okay, well, as much as I loved, as much as you always want to back the gaffer and everything, and then Darren, he's done a lot for the club, and obviously he struggled, and then the club has gone down, unfortunately. If Darren did go at an earlier rate, and if you brought in Scott, maybe like weeks before, like many weeks before Darren got the sack, and if you had him as well, just where would Bath be if we changed the form before it was looking like, but when we still had games in hand and when it was still looking like there was a possible chance that we could stay up or even make it to like 19th or 20th place just to stay in the league if we brought Scott in earlier. So if we brought Scott in earlier, we had these attacking players, we played more aggressive, less defensive. It's just where Bath could have been.
Yeah, I've got what if Darren was sacked after the Hampton or Slough games. That's kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
really.
kind
Just
of similar
getting him in
thing. What if we brought Scott in early and what if Darren? Yeah.
Yeah, I got loads. We had lots of what if moments. What if we didn't concede any of those 95th minute goals? What if Putman didn't smack the bar against who did he smack the bar against?
Tunbridge.
Do we don't go down that night maybe?
And then Shepherd hit the bar against Slough as well.
Shepherd's against, but yeah, if one of these goes in, maybe we don't go down. There's lots of what if moments.
Didn't concede that penalty at Farnborough, just absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's all
yeah.
these late goals. Hemel away, we conceded 95th minute or something.
It's always last minute.
That's what I mean. So if we could have just seen a few more games out or one or two more games out, we don't go down.
The reverse Liverpool just instead of scoring in the last minute, you can see it in the last minute.
Yeah, it's just like it's horrible to say, but like if we were in a close game when we were fighting relegation and they added on 6 or 7 minutes, I was like, we're now going to lose. And that was my mindset. And if my mindset as a fan is like that, that's got to be in the players' head as well. Because it's the only way I can see that we conceded all them is mentality. And they're like, we got to see 7 more minutes. Because they're probably looking at the clock going, it's 90. All right, another 2 or 3 minutes, guys. And then they hold up 7. Maybe that's the mentality. They're like, we can't hold out 7. And so, yeah, lots of what-if moments. Loads, man. But if I had to pick one out, I don't know. Probably that. Let's be honest, Darren should have gone after the Hampton 4-0 at home, shouldn't he?
Yeah,
I do think so.
And then I think Scott comes in because Scott wasn't at Eastleigh then; he was available. Scott comes in, and I think Scott keeps his team up. Simple as that. Yeah,
unfortunately. And again, it's just a question we have to ask at this rate. What could have happened at that point?
Yeah, and I mean, Darren gave it his all. He just wasn't, the right man for what we were in, the stage we were in with the club. He did fantastic at achieving his first goal, which was to keep us up, but he didn't build on that. He got worse, so that was the issue.
At the end of last season, he was setting the team up not to lose, get a point, keep us above the relegation.
But that's the thing, you only need that for one season.
Exactly, that's the point I'm going to make. And then when you come into this season, we needed to be attacking teams. We should be aiming for playoffs, Bath City. Sorry, I always believe that every season. And you got people saying, we're a community-run club and we don't have a lot of money. But, Hemel Hempstead and Western Supermare played each other in this playoff semi-final. They're both part-time. Yeah, exactly. So I don't buy into that either. Yeah, of course, because a full-time club finished bottom of the league, so I'm not buying into full-time, part-time. Yeah, they get more training sessions, they get more time with the players, more time to work on things, but I'm not fully buying into that because Eastbourne are full-time and they were rock bottom.
It's certainly something that affects the team, but it's not what should define a team, I think. I think there's certainly an argument to say that, we are part-time and for example, when it's Bath against Torquay, for example, that's a big jump. But when it's like Bath against, say, a lesser-known full-time team, Eastbourne, for example, you should probably be winning those sort of games. But, that's the podcast wrapped up. That's all our sort of awards, I guess, fan awards on the podcast. Thank you very much for tuning into the Romans podcast over this season. We hope to get a few more episodes out over the summer in terms of transfer news or, looking ahead to next season, the sort of grounds that we'll be playing in. We might even have a sort of tier listing of the grounds we're most excited to go to. There's a lot of fun things we got planned for you over summer, so don't stop listening. We'll keep providing some Bath City content when there's no Bath City football to watch, and we hope next season to continue the podcast perhaps online as opposed to, in the podcasting suite, as obviously me and Ollie will be out of uni by then. But thank you very much for listening. Ollie, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Chris, thank you very much again.
Thanks, guys. Cheers, Oscar.
It's been a bit disappointing season on the whole, but we've thoroughly enjoyed being in the podcast suite and we look forward to the future ahead. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.